uh, uh, it will incur, it will provide. It has to be distributed with the benefit claimers. Now, second definition is biological diversity. What do you mean by biological diversity? We mean by this biological diversity, the variability among the living organisms. And this variability can be this within species, between species, or of the ecosystems we know. And the third most definition is biological resources. What do they mean by the biological resources? By biological resources, they mean plants, animals, microorganisms, or any part of these. Even the genetic material, the byproducts which we usually get out of these, they are also the biological resources. But one good thing they have provided here, that they have excluded value added products. For example, if they have put some value to any product, or they have used any part of biological resources in that product, at that very point of time, will not call it a biological resource, merely it being the part of any product. So for that reason, they have excluded this value added products. Even they have also excluded the human genetic material. That human genetic material is not biological resources as per this article, as per this act. One more thing they talked about, biosurvey and bioutilization. What do you mean by biosurvey? It's simply collection, survey of some biological species. It not only includes the species, subspecies, it also includes genes, even the genes, and also the extracts of biological resources. Why do we go for this collection or the survey of these biological entities? In order to characterize them. So for the characterization, for inventorization, and for the bioassay. Similarly, they talked about the chairperson. Who is the chairperson? Here we have chairperson, any person who heads or who chairs NBA. That's the National Biodiversity Authority. We'll be talking about all these things in details. And he may also add, it's not the same chairperson, it's the other person heading the State Board, Biodiversity Board, SBB. He's also called chairperson. Also, they're talking about the commercial utilization. What do you mean by commercial utilization? When they use this commercial utilization throughout the act. By commercial utilization, they mean that any sort of biological resource which is used for commercial utilization, for example, so using for manufacturing of drugs, and then it's commercialized. Any industrial enzymes, food flavors, fragrances, cosmetics, emulsifiers, extra. But one good thing they have provided is like if these biological resources are used in conventional breeding or traditional practices, like in agriculture, horticulture, poultry, etc. So at that very period of time, at that very point of time, they will not be under this, under the heading of commercial utilization. Similarly, we have fair and equitable benefit sharing. It will be dealt in detail under the section 21. What we mean by the fair and equitable benefit sharing, that we'll talk about later. Similarly, the local bodies. Local bodies, they mean the panchayatas, the municipalities, which are already there. This mentioned in the Article 243B and the Article 243 Q of the Constitution. And if there is absence of these panchayatas or the municipalities, then there can be some institutions of self-government. So at that very point of time, they may be also called as the local bodies. Member is, it's simply a member of your NBA and SBB. Even the chairperson is also the member. It's an important thing you should note here. One more thing is like NBA. We'll also discuss about it in a more holistic way under the Section 8. Prescribed, it means which is prescribed by the rules under this Act. Regulations is regulations which are made under the Act. So you have to keep in consideration that when it talks about prescribed regulations, it means rules made under this Act. Now, the research. What do you mean by research? It's simply like systematic investigation of any sort of any sort of like biological resources or technical applications. So it's simply like the study or systematic investigation. So as far as the biological resources are considered. Similarly, they also mention State Biodiversity Board, SBB, and it will be also discussed under the Section 22. They also talk about the sustainable use. It means that in such a manner and at such a rate, both the manner and the rate, that will meet the needs of and these needs and aspirations of the present, but it will not compromise the potential of the future generations to meet their own needs. So when this happens, that means there is sustainable utilization of the sustainable use. Also, they're talking about the value added products. Value added products, they are simply like, for example, any sort of products which contain some portion of biological resources. And if it is unrecognizable or like you cannot separate it, it is physically in the inseparable form. At that very point of time, it's value added. So that value added is not included in the definition of biological resources. This was all about the chapter first, in which we have two sections. Okay, one section was talking about the extent, the commencement, and the second was a lot of definitions they're talking about. Similarly, we have chapter second. In chapter second, we have 5 sections. Section first, that's the section third here. This section third is dealing with what? It's simply dealing with